Here at Worst Tutorials, we are not ashamed of how much we love John Mayer.
Especially not me.
And if you didn't know, John Mayer, as of the filming of this video, just released a new single. What's it called?
Last Train Home.
Last Train Home. In the video for the single, you can clearly see him playing through a Soldano SLO 100 amplifier. And so we got to thinking...
Or at least it's a prop.
Yeah, you know, it's in there. So we got to thinking... let's make some presets based on the Soldano SLO 100 because it is a legendary amplifier.
Lately, we've been like experimenting and making new amp patches.
Yes, veering away from the typical Vox matchless Fender stuff.
There's so many good things, and so the idea was let's just pull it up and see what happens. But we pulled it up, and this thing is big,
really good,
and like punchy cleans. Like I've never actually played a Dumble. I've never actually played a 2-Rock.
Right.
I've played modelers and profiles of them, but the cleans venture into that kind of big round
on the SLO.
Yeah, the SLO.
Yeah.
Also note, Brian told me this. It's not slow. You do not call it.
That's
slow.
what I heard. Yeah,
from Mike
Soldano. Call it
slow.
Call it the SLO. So this preset and patch is available for the following pieces of hardware platforms. The Line 6 Helix, the Helix LT, Helix Native, the Line 6 HX Stomp, the Line 6 Pod Go, the Fractal FM3, and the Fractal Axe-Fx 3. Now in the Helix, the Stomp, the FM3, and the Axe-Fx 3, unfortunately not the Pod Go, we're actually utilizing multiple amp blocks or channels inside of this preset because the SLO is a 3-channel amp. It has a clean channel, it has a crunch or rhythm type, OD type of a channel, and it has a lead channel. So in the Helix and in the Stomp, we have 2 amp blocks in those patches. One is the clean channel, one is the lead channel. In the Fractal hardware, we have 1 amp block, but the first 3 channels, channels A, B, and C, stick with us, it'll all make sense, are the...
If you use the unit, I think it'll...
Yeah, I think you understand the channel switching. So channel A is your clean, the clean amp. Channel B is the crunch, and channel C is the lead. The crunch or the rhythm, whatever they call it. Because in both Line 6 and in Fractal hardware, they actually separated the 3 channels out as 3 individual different amp blocks.
We made it work. It's as much like a channel switching amp as we could make it.
Yeah, and so in the Line 6 stuff, we didn't add the third, like the rhythm channel to it because we felt like when we gained up the clean channel and or put drives in front of it, it sounded a lot like the rhythm channel.
It was similar enough, and we didn't have room.
Yeah,
we barely had room as it is.
Yeah, there's not enough DSP. Well, you can put 3 amp blocks in.
You can
a Helix patch, but you don't have much room for much else.
No.
And then in the Fractal stuff, we didn't use the B channel in the amp block, the rhythm channel, for any of the sounds. Like, it's not like programmed into the patch, but we did dial it in and set it up. So if you want to experiment with that on your own, go to channel B. You can use it. You can assign a button to turn it on and off, and then you can use it however you would like.
It sounded good, but same thing with the Helix. It was like, once we gained up the clean and pushed it, it kind of sounded similar. If we wanted to make some more flexible options.
There you go. So we added another thing to these patches, an effect type of thing that we've never done in any of our presets before, and it's on all of the patches for all of the platforms. And it was inspired by an actual purchase that I made, a piece of gear that we've never really used before, and Bradford and I, using it this week, trying it out, we had a moment where it was like, there's not a lot that Bradford and I play these days that just sort of really blows our hair back.
Yeah.
It just makes us go like, whoa, that was awesome.
Stuff will sound good, and we're like, oh man, that's so good.
That sounds great, yeah.
But like, we both
dropped.
dropped.
You turned this pedal on. Well, first of all, we were going into stereo and a Princeton reverb of all things, and a Bogner Duende,
which is like a deluxe
running
reverb.
A stereo, like a deluxe reverb. And you kicked this pedal on with a bunch of drive, and we were just like, whoa, what just happened? It was awesome.
Okay, enough tantalizing.
And that pedal is the Eventide MicroPitch. So the MicroPitch, if you're not aware of what it is the thing that Eddie Van Halen used in the studio to get like his signature sound.
Like the Eventide rack mount version.
Yeah.
Which is now available in like a pedal that's like this big.
Yeah, we'll do content on the MicroPitch because it is awesome. You can get it as a standalone pedal, or you can get it in the pitch factor. It comes in that as an algorithm, or the H9. Right? But what it is delay and pitch all in one package, and the way Van Halen used it was a slight delay, and it gives your signal like this width because of the delay. It offsets basically one side.
Like a quarter of a second.
Yeah, and then you pitch one side up and one side down by like, what, 20 cents or something?
Which is reminiscent of like how chorus works in a way.
So it's kind of like a chorus, it's kind of like a delay, but it's a little different. It has modulation built into it. And it sounds awesome. It's like the 80s rhythm Van Halen. I mean, part of that too is the amps and stuff and the way he plays and the guitar, but that MicroPitch is huge. And we replicated it in Line 6, in the Line 6 stuff and in the Fractal stuff. In the Fractal stuff, it's easy because there is a dual detune in the pitch block. That is the MicroPitch rhythm. So it was actually really... we didn't have to work as hard to get that in. In the Helix, we use, what was that effect called that we used, Bradford?
Double take.
The double take, not double tank. That's a different thing. That's the reverb. The double take in the modulation block, only in the stereo modulation block. And it does kind of the same thing. It widens it and it detunes it a little bit.
Yeah, but we threw chorus on to get it to do more of the thing.
Yeah.
So it is just a cool effect that you could use just to widen your signal anyways.
Yeah, if you want to use it like for ambient clean tones, it makes them really like kind of warbly and washy. It's pretty awesome. So we use that in Snapshot or Scene 7 in all of these, in all the patches except for the Stomp and the Pod Go. And that gets you like the rhythm lead, not rhythm, but the 80s sort of, rhythm modulated, detuned type of a thing. It's really cool. Check it out. If it's not for you, no big deal. You can just get rid of that block and put something else in. Yes. That is more to your liking. But since the SLO is classically like a hard rock type of an amp, we thought it was fitting.
Even Eric Clapton actually used one, which I haven't even watched it yet, but Mason at Vertex just released a video today kind of dissecting that rig. So I'm going to watch that. A note though on this effect, if you haven't gathered by now, really...
Oh, you need stereo.
You need stereo. So, like, if you're not running stereo, this is going to come across as a pretty intense chorus.
Yeah.
And so you may not like it because the whole point of a widener it doesn't do anything. Not really. It does not do anything in mono.
Oh, in mono.
It kind of will. Actually, we didn't actually.
You get some kind of phasey, chorusy.
Yeah, you may not. It may not sound very good. But Axe Effects, when we took the MicroPitch and we summed it to mono, it just sounded like a really thick, chewy chorus, which still kind of got the vibe. If you want the sound, the whole point of the thing is to like make things sound really wide, and like that was like basically like EVH had that thing on like all the time.
Yeah.
So like that was like how a 3-piece band sounded as good and wide as they did.
Yeah.
And so it was basically always on.
Well, and he's like one of the greatest guitar players that's ever lived.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt. Yeah.
That helps. Yes.
But if you're playing it and you're just trying to get the sound and you're in mono, it's still gonna give the sound and the idea of it. But it's the coolness factor is when you just step on it and like your patch sounds good and playing anyways when you step on that it just goes from
yeah,
it's cool.
Now I will say
we talked about that for a while. Worth it.
Yes. So links to grab all of these patches are below for whatever platform that you're on. Again, we say this in some videos but not all of them, but it's important. The Helix patch will not work on HX Stomp or Pod Go. Same thing for Axe Effects 3. If you're running an FM3, you need to buy the FM3 patch. Axe Effects. You got to get the patch for the platform that you're using. But if you accidentally get the wrong one, no worries. Just send an email to support@worshiptutorials.com. One last thing I probably want to address on this one. The lead channel on this amp is pretty it's an 80s kind of a lead sound.
It is.
And that is more, we think that it sounds a little more scooped, right, in that kind of a tone. And if you're like us and you're used to like Vox AC style type leads, and it's kind of like what you typically hear.
Mid-forward sounds.
Yeah, kind of like what you typically hear in praise and worship stuff. Like the solo lead tones in these presets might not be as much to your liking, but what you can do, if that's the case, we wanted to stay true to how this amp sounds. So
as best as we could.
But if you're not into that tone, then what I would suggest is just use the clean channel of the amp and use it as a pedal platform type of a thing, so you can rework those lead and solo snapshots and scenes so that you're just pushing all the drive into them.
Yeah.
Especially with the Tube Screamer, that's going to give you that mid push. It's going to sound more maybe like what you're used to if you're not into that 80s kind of a lead sound.
Yeah, and the lead channel, we found it's a bit odd to try to utilize for rhythm, and so it sounds great when you're playing leads. I mean, you may like it, but
this amp is designed the way it is on purpose.
Yeah, so there's a reason why there was a clean channel, a rhythm channel, and a lead channel. So we thought we did a pretty good job of like making a patch that's not. It's not like a complete Sunday morning patch necessarily.
You can do a lot.
But at the same time, it can still do that.
It can do everything.
So it's not like if you're used to our Vox patches and that's your home and you love it and you grab this and you're like, I can't make this work for me. Well, we try to do something a little more fun and different and do something a little more expressive. And honestly, I mean, we were just having a blast messing around with stuff.
It's a lot of fun.
Playing different things.
It's inspiring to play something a little different every once in a while.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.